Welcome back to Blueprint Bootcamp, where you can CAD wrong or you can CAD strong. All right, today on Blueprint Bootcamp, we're going to be doing BB number 2, our metal gauge. So I will switch over to that. And this is what we're looking at. I will post a PDF link in the description. But let's kind of break this thing down and take a look at what we need. So if you guys are tuning into this for the first time, and maybe you found me from my packet, I'm not going to be giving the answers as much as I used to. I'll still show you a walkthrough how to do it and kind of how you can get there. But you'll notice I've kind of gotten rid of the tools down at the bottom that you need to use to show you how to make this. And I know last week's I gave you the answer. This week I'm not going to give you the answer. So I want to see maybe if you guys want to comment them, put them down in the comments, and let me know. This one's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to figure out. But today we're going to focus primarily on dimensioning. So if we take a look, we have a center line down this middle, and we don't have one here. I used to draw one there, but we have 1.5 and 1.75. So we're going to need to keep those dimensions in mind. Let me zoom in a little bit here. We have our overall shape is 3 inches wide, and we go out by 1/4 of an inch and down by 1/4 of an inch each time we do this. You'll see this one is 0.5, this one is 0.75 over 1 over 125, and so on and so on and so on. So we will do that, and then if we notice down at the bottom, this one is 125 up 1/4 inch, and then use these dimensions to figure that out accordingly. So I will give you a second if you're the screenshotting type, if you want to take a screenshot of that, but remember I will post this in the description so you can do that as well. Alright, so let's move over into our part studio. Alright, once we're in Onshape, let's go ahead and start a new sketch. This one I'm going to start on the front plane. So select that front plane, press Shift and S to start a sketch, N to normalize, and P to hide those planes. Okay. Next step, I want to go from my center point here. I'm going to go straight up, and I'm going to press the letter Q before I click, so I can have that be turned into a construction line, and that needs to be 1.5. From my center point, I'm going to go down while I'm still selected, and we're going to go down 1.75. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. And now we're going to go up here. I'm going to press Q to shut off my construction line. And let's start a regular old line from the top that goes out 0.25. And then I got to come down. I know I gave that dimension of 0.25. Now I could just keep going. And obviously, there's a couple of schools of thought and ways to make this happen. But I want to show you kind of one of the ways that my students do it, and it kind of messes things up. So we could go through and I could select all these lines that are horizontal, and I know they all need to be 0.25, and I could do the equals constraint, and then I could go through and pick all of these, my vertical lines, and I could do the equals constraint again. Did I miss one? There we go. All of these need to equal each other. There we go. Okay. And then we could check our dimensions. So I know this one is 125, so I would need to do a couple more. So over and down. And again, if I selected all of these and made them equal to one another, if I do it too many times, it over constrains it. So you got to make sure you count while you're doing that. Let me see. So I can go here, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, and down. All right. So I can select again all my vertical pieces, and I could say E for equal. I could pick all my horizontal pieces. Oh, didn't like that one. There we go. All of my horizontal pieces, come on, and say equal. And it looks like I deleted that dimension, so we'll make that 0.25, and they'll all snap into place. If I were to draw a line from here over, we are golden, okay? So that's one way of kind of going about doing that. But now, the easy way would be to take this and mirror this top part over. But what I want to do is show you kind of another way to draw that. So the equal constraint is probably the quickest way to do it, but the whole point of this is to figure out how much you can do your dimensions. So I like doing this. This used to be number 4 in my practice assignment packet, but you go 0.25, enter, down 0.25, over 0.25, and this just gets kids kind of, it's like typing practice, obviously, as I mess up as I say that, into the habit of getting your numbers put in and dimensions put in quick. I can't tell you how many times I see kids in class, they'll see a dimension and it'll be like 0.25 and they'll type every single number, or sometimes I'll give like 0.5, like 0.5, and they'll write 0.5, or sometimes I'll write it as 0.500, and they'll type all the zeros out. And I'm like, bro, if it's already there, like, why would you make more work for yourself? Okay. Then on that last one, we're gonna lock in place like that, and we have our side over there. So a couple of different ways you can do it. Obviously, this way is kind of messy, but I know there's some of you out there that like seeing all those little dimensions. Personally, I like being able to clean it up and make it a little more user-friendly. If you're more in the constraint camp, do it that way. If you're more in the dimensioning camp, do it however you want. So let's go ahead and switch back over to our metal gauge drawing, and you'll see that from here everything needs to be 1.5 from these whole parts, and then we'll go 125 over 1, 0.75, 0.5, and 0.25. So if we were to check again, so from here to here should be 1.5. From here to here should be 1.25. 1 should go down by a 1/4 inch each time. So 0.75 should be 0.5, and of course this one is our 0.25. Okay. I was thinking about doing this when I originally started, was being mean, and was going to give this dimension from here to here, and then mess with it, but I felt like this was going to get too cluttered, and this was a cool way to kind of draw it. And with this drawing, it's a nice way to kind of just jump in and like figure out a game plan before you actually draw anything. I know a lot of people just jump the gun and they just want to start drawing as quick as possible. And when I've done that in the past, personally, I end up making more mistakes and having to go back and fix it. Okay. But one thing to notice is down here at the bottom, it says 125, where up here it was 0.25. So we need to go over 0.25 and then go up 2.5, and then every one after that is 0.25. So we can't really do the same technique on this one. So from that 175, we're going to go over 0.125. We're going to go up 0.25. And then we're going to go over 0.25. We'll go up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over. Okay, so now here, all of these, I'll make equal to that guy right there, equal those. And this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one can all equal one another. And the reason I didn't do it on this side is because we need to look at some geometry and where things cross. So I know I need to come down from here down, and if you'll see, if I go straight down, that is 0.25, but we'll have to trim that off, and this actually ends up needing to be 0.125. If you take a look down here in the corner, I need to move my picture. 0.125 is what that says down here in the corner. So actually I could just show you this way too. There we go, there's my measure menu. 0.125 for that line right there. So now I have that done, and I have very little dimensioning actually on there. The problem is it wants to be fully defined, and it's because I deleted that line and told it had to be equal before. So if we tell this line and this line to equal one another, should help us a little bit. These come on, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one all need to equal one another. There we go. All right, so we have all our constraints. We have all that in. I could go to the other side and just mirror that guy over. And that's actually exactly what I want to do. So we'll go mirror line here. I'm going to select all of this. We'll flip that over. And then you would select this area here, and that is going to be your answer for what is the total square footage or square inches. It's all in inches. So what would your area be in square inches to see what this would be? If I change, might break it right now when I do this, 2.5. Yeah, it's gonna, everything's so constrained, it's gonna be crazy. But remember, click your center right here. I'll show you again with another shape. If this was our shape and we wanted to find the area, I could click here and it'll show me that area down here at the bottom. It looks like it's blocked off for you guys right now. What if I do, yeah, there we go. So click your shape and it will show you your area right there. So it is hidden. It's right here in the bottom right corner. I know you guys can't see where my mouse is, but if you follow my mouse right here and kind of come over, I have it hidden on purpose. I want you guys to try this one and tell me how it feels. I know this one's a little bit easier, but maybe you're not the greatest in dimensioning. This will allow you to click each piece and go from there. I've had some students actually, let's see if I can delete this. They've drawn it kind of a little bit different before. They've done like a rectangle like this that would be 0.5 by I guess 1.75 plus 1.5, and then they did another one that was like this, and the total should have been 3 wide by, let's look at our, I guess it would have been 0.5 there. So they did like this, 0.5, and then they basically started just doing like offsets and going down like a 1/4 inch each time. It was kind of funky. I know some people did. They just did another, and they're like, this needs to go out from here to here, needs to be 0.5, and from here to here needs to be 2.5, and then they would come in and they'd trim it up. And for me, that seems like just a buttload of work. Not something that seems very enjoyable. So whatever works for you, however you end up finding that answer, my goal is to let you practice and figure out what you need to do to be able to do this correctly, and just to get yourself that practice. I mean, this is one of those that's fairly simple. Like I said, this used to be, I think, number 4 in my packet when I just looked at it again. We're revamping some things, but I want to go, you know, there was a purpose for why we had this in the packet in the first place, and so I kind of want to get back there. Didn't want to throw these skills away completely, but pay attention to the little details and figure out a game plan on how to do this, and we'll go from there. So hopefully you guys are liking this Blueprint Bootcamp series. If you guys have any ideas for some other types of drawings you want done, let me know down in the comments. I know I had a comment last week about possibly doing a new Lego brick. I'm looking into it. I think I got a game plan on how I want to do that. So stay tuned for that. And let me know about Blueprint Bootcamp if you want to keep it strictly 2D, or do we want to switch to 3D too. So that's going to do it for us. So thank you guys. I will see you next week.